So have you ever wondered what the new Countryman that's coming out looks like in comparison to an old one like mine right here, or maybe even a second gen like this one right here? Well, you're in luck, because in this video we're going to compare the brand new Countryman versus the F60 Countryman versus the R60 Countryman. We're going to take a look at all three of these cars, how they compare in size. And just looking at it right here, you can see my R60 is a little bit shorter than the F60, which is a little bit shorter than the new Countryman. So between the first gen and the third gen, there is quite a difference. But if you go up incrementally, there is not a humongous difference in terms of height of the cars. We do have a bit of a rounded off roof on the new Countryman, as you can see here, which gives it a little bit more height than you would expect compared to the old second gen and the first gen. They seem to have a little shallower of a roof. This one's got a bit more of a hat on top of it. Looking at the grills and the hoods, you can see that that's a little bit shorter, maybe an inch or two shorter than the F60. And then the U25 is up, you know, it might even go up 3 inches. It's up there. If we look at the hoods from the side profile, we can see that they go up in height a little bit. We go from the R60 right here to the F60, a little bit taller. Headlight shape changes a little bit between the two models. Washer jets are still on the hood, and we still have this power dome seen on the first one, but a little more squared off on the second one here. And then the third gen, totally different hood design. It's no longer a clamshell, it's a traditional hood. And as you can see, the power dome is huge, but there are no washer jets. It's much smoother. The washer jets are hidden down in there. Now this is gonna help for the aerodynamics, because again, this car comes in ICE, which is this one, also in electric. So you really need a really smooth, slippery body, and getting rid of those washer jets is gonna help you get a little bit smoother of a body. I'm not quite sure why they didn't tuck those wipers down a little bit farther, but you can see the difference in height is quite dramatic compared to the difference in height between these two. Is really not so much. All right, looking at the backs, we have a much rounder back end on the new Countryman. Really sticks out a lot farther and almost sticks out farther than the rear bumper. If you can see that in the video. Yeah, it sticks out farther than the rear bumper. We have the new taillights, super cool. I've got to say, I really love this gold trim that comes with this Countryman. It's really sharp. I love it. It's not chrome, and it's also not piano black, because piano black is so scratchy. Take a look at the roof from this angle. Yeah, definitely sloped quite a bit more. Take a look at this second gen Countryman rear. You can see the bumper sticks out quite a bit more than anything else. Still a real spoiler, not a super sloped roof like we have on this new one. And then we have the first gen. Bumper definitely sticks out the farthest. I like how clean it is on the back end though. Like, look at this back end. Look at this boot lid. There's nothing on it. I mean, this one's debadged, but there's no interruption for the license plate. This Countryman, a little too busy on the back for me, I think, with the cutout for the license plate and the boot handle. And then we go to this new third gen. Look at that. I think it mimics the first gen one quite a bit. I really like this really smooth back end where they tuck the license plate down into the bumper, and then the boot lid underneath there as well. So that is the back end and the roof. We've seen all four corners of these Countrymans to see how they compare in size. Now I'm gonna hop in the cars and do a little test drive, because it's raining quite a bit right now. Okay, it automatically unlocked as I got close to it, which is really nice. We have the new door handles. No longer a squeeze, it's now an actual pull, which is flush with the body. Black, gloss black, felt line trim, heck yes. Here we go. Look at this interior. Really like the colors of this interior. This is the petrol, which I know it sounds funny because, let me get in here, because it is raining. Which is weird, because it is a little bit of a weird name for a color, especially when it's seen a lot in the electrics, but this is a nice vehicle. But if you look up the word petrol on the internet, it also has an alternate definition for green blue, like a greenish blue. So I guess it does fit the name there. Just look how that fades out to the brown. And then if you go to the back, fully brown. There's no paint. But yeah, this is the interior. Let me get some more shots of the interior and then we'll take it for a quick spin. Okay, so we're gonna turn the key, power this thing on. Fire's right up. Sounds very similar to what the F60's engine sounds like. Probably very similar engine, just a new variant in that. I'm gonna adjust my seat just a tad. Power seat. That's nice. So we toggled it into drive. That's the new way. And here we go. Let's see how it drives. So the steering feels a tad bit lighter, but the power feels like it's there, right? I'm not gonna floor it all the way, but yeah, you could definitely feel the power. The heads-up display, a lot nicer than the previous generation, has a lot more graphics going on in it, which is really cool. It feels a little more premium. So this car overall definitely feels as premium as the previous generation, maybe a tad more with this dash. And speaking of this dash, I do like how it's kind of sloped down lower. It's not so high. I feel like I can see over it, you know, which is kind of weird because I'm higher than it anyway. But it doesn't feel like as much of an obstacle to look over. I think it's got a really nice slope down into the interior. Steering wheel is thick. I think that might take a bit getting used to, but overall, it's nice. It's responsive. You know, you're definitely going to notice a bit more body roll than an R60 for sure. It's a bigger car. I think it's a really good replacement for the F60, which is a really nice car as it is. But again, you're talking to me. I'm pretty biased. I love any Mini out there. Let's talk about visibility for a second. You know, Countrymans were never the most visible in the world. They have a little more of a cozy feeling than the two-doors do. And this one really has a very similar feel to the F60 in terms of visibility. These mirrors feel a little bit bigger though. They're a different shape. They're more rounded oval than they are squished circles. So I feel like I have more vision on the sides. But in terms of blind spots, well, you got technology now that's going to help you take care of those blind spots. With all this cool technology in here, you can see there is blind spot monitoring and other things to help you out with that. So overall, it shouldn't make much of a difference about the visibility. I'm going to go into a new experience now. I'm going to go into, let's put it in trail. Yes. Okay, so with each experience mode, the heads-up display graphics change as well, which is something that I was always a little bit disappointed with in the F-Series cars, is their head-up displays graphics were kind of very basic and simple. Now they've got a bit more going on with them, which is really nice. It's really showing off some cool graphics that are happening that match the experience mode that I have the car in right now. So overall, the car drives great. It's very similar to an F-Series car. It's really smooth drive. It's responsive in the ways that it needs to be. Just like I said, maybe a slight bit more body roll than the R60, but man, there's such a difference in size between those two. I don't know if that's a fair comparison. So that's going to be it for this comparison between the new Countryman, the U25, the F60, and the R60. Hope you enjoyed seeing the size comparison. And if you want a chance to see one of these Countrymans yourself in person, good news. Mini is taking these on a tour throughout the US to all the dealerships. And if you haven't already, go register for the one that's closest to you. You're gonna get a chance to see this car up and close, meet some of the people that work for Mini so they can show off all the intricate details about it. And you're really gonna love seeing this car in person. It really looks really sharp. The interior even though it's stark, is really nice. That knit dash, you really have to see it in person, and I think you're really gonna love it. Some of the colors it comes in, like this blue with the gold and the black with the gold accents, look really nice. So go check that out. I'll leave the link down in the description where you can go register to go see this car in person. It's gonna be at a dealership near you if it hasn't already, so go check it out while you can. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you like the size comparison between the 3 generations. Leave any questions or comments you have down below. And as always, don't forget to wave when you see other minis out there, especially these brand new U25 Countrymans.